It looks like only crisis, struggle keeps human beings reasonably focused on something. It's so unfortunate. Well-being, most people don't know how to handle it. Sustained well-being is generally been a disaster for most civilizations in the world, not today, for always. This is what we need to change, that even if there is sustained well-being, we will still be well, we will not mess ourselves up. In many ways, at least certain parts of this culture demonstrated that in the past, because material affluence was always woven with spiritual practices and spiritual awareness. Because of that, people remain stable. Only now it is changing in this generation, otherwise just 25-30 years ago, if you went to places where the richest people are meeting in this country, you would see, except the ladies, the men were always in whites, simple whites, top, bottom, both white. Even today in Tamil Nadu, to some extent this is true. If you go to a wedding, outside you'll see, Bentleys, Mercedeses and BMWs all parked. And of course, there are a lot of two-wheelers and TVS moped, of course. If you go inside, at least the men's segment, you can't make out who came by Bentley, who came by TVS moped, because both will be dressed the same way. You cannot make out. Ladies, by the weight of jewelry they're carrying on their neck, you can make out, maybe this is a rich person, this is a poor person. But among the men, you just can't make out because everybody is in whites, the same starched white shirt and white dhoti. Because being wealthy is one thing, but flaunting it in somebody's face and making them feel less than yourself was considered obscene. Never anybody spoke about wealth when they meet. But these days, things are changing rapidly everywhere in the world and also in India. But for long periods of time, generations of people maintained enormous wealth, but still because of their spiritual awareness, wealth did not distort them. This is very important because never before were we able to create wealth for as many people as it's possible today. In the past, the wealthy were very small number. Today, the number of people who can afford many things, the number has increased. Well, still unfortunately a lot of people are left out of it, that's a different matter, but still more people have access to more money and more wealth and more aspects of life than ever before in the history of humanity. So at a time like this, if our material development, material well-being and wealth is not woven with spiritual awareness, well, this will not work in our favor. Even here it's being very strongly demonstrated. Close by, within 60 kilometers, there is a town called Tirupur. Of course, right now they're in a little bit of a depression mode. But otherwise, in this town, even a regular labor, menial jobs, they're earning 2 to 3 times more than what they would earn in Coimbatore city, because this is a completely export-oriented town and everybody has a company of their own, hosiery town it is. There is wealth. So out of that, what is the consequence? One thing is, some 42% of the male population is diabetic. because of the wealth. Another thing is, both men and women generally, they're trying to get into the shape of the planet. Yesterday was Earth Day, so they're working in that direction. And about few years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, we found that of all the alcohol, like this was at the Diwali time, of all the alcohol sold in Tamil Nadu, nearly 70% was consumed by this one town. So if you get wealthy, you will either end up in the hospital or in the gutter. Yes. So if this is what wealth is going to do, definitely it's not a good thing. Wealth should bring well-being, because from poverty to affluence, whether it is in the life of an individual person or a society or a nation, it is a struggle. There's a lot of hard work, many unpleasant things you have to go through to move from poverty to affluence. It doesn't just come easy. After getting there, all you do is end up in the hospital or in the gutter. What is the point of this? The entire struggle is meaningless. Now the next generation will not even seek success if this is what you display. It is very important that every generation must display that material well-being has brought them ease, well-being, health, intelligence, talent, above all, a beautiful way of living. Kangaroo, though limited itself to Australia, the kangaroo courts did not remain in Australia alone, they went all over the world. That is, just jump to a judgment. This happened. At one time, Shankaran Pillai became a judge in the local court. He was not always on the other side. So then he got record number of judgments going. So they wanted to give him an award because he is clearing the maximum number of cases. Then this award-giving committee asked him, "How do you manage this? You are delivering the maximum number of judgments." He said, "I only listen to the plaintiff." They said, "What, you don't listen to the defendant?" "No, if I listen to both, it just confuses me, I just listen." There are a lot of people like this. They just want to listen to one thing and take a decision, let's see if it works. No, whoever told you an enlightened being does not have karma? An enlightened being has immense karma, much, much more than others. Yes. Because without karma, if you're at a certain level of energy, without a certain weightage of karma, you cannot remain grounded. This is why 90% of the time enlightenment and leaving the body happens at the same time. Because if you do not consciously ground yourself with substantial, weighty kind of karma, then you cannot stick to the body. First thing to understand is that karma is not some negative trash. It's only because of karma you are who you are. When we say karma, we are talking about layers and layers of memory which makes you who you are. There is evolutionary memory which makes you a human being. Suppose your body lost its evolutionary memory, well, you may start crawling. Because you are a human being, not by knowledge, by a huge amount of evolutionary memory invested in every cell in your body, which makes you be human. Well, there is an immense amount of karma, starting from the evolutionary or even before, the elemental karma is there, we will not go into it, it's too complex. But you understand the evolutionary karma. Let's say, see right now the frogs are happy in the evening, for whatever reasons, they're doing quack, quack, quack. I don't know who found the connection about kissing the frog and turning them into human beings. All those things, but suppose you lost your evolutionary karma and somewhere around amphibious life, somewhere around a frog, you stopped. After that, what memory you had is gone. Suddenly, you may be a princess, but you will turn into a frog. Yes? Because it's this memory which is so invested in every cell in your body, which gives you a human form and a sense of being human being. So who you are, essentially, the shape and form of you is just karma, because it's memory. Like this, there are many levels of it, I will not go into all of it. Now, there is a genetic karma. Because of that, you have a particular kind of nose, a particular kind of skin, particular behavioral aspects, certain amount of capabilities and incapabilities. Genetic karma is there. After that, your own stuff is there, articulate, inarticulate, and now conscious karma. Now, karma is not a negative thing if you know how to use it. But if you do not become conscious enough to use it, then it runs like a software. Let us say there is a software on the computer you use or the phone that you use. I think computers are gone. Only a few people seem to be using computers, everybody is only this. So, phone is a computer in a way. So whatever software that is on it, well, whatever work you're doing, let's say every 11 seconds, I'm choosing that number intentionally, every 11 seconds you will do boom, boom, doom. Every 11 seconds it's good boom, boom, doom. Believe me, after a few months, you yourself will start doing every 11 seconds boom, boom, doom. Yes, you will. But the software is only in the phone. But if it keeps on doing it every day, see right now the chant is going on around the ashram, some of you, why is it going on all the time? But slowly, unknowingly, yoga, yoga It is we are programming you towards liberation. Many people and you yourself may be programming yourself to bondage, because a whole lot of people are always trying to build bonds with something or the other, because they think only by tying themselves to something or somebody, they will feel safe. If you have a bond, with age it becomes bondage. No, I'm just playing with you. But all bonds unconsciously developed and unconsciously it exists with you, become bondages. Well, bonds are like, a sailor will throw an anchor in a place so that there, in case there is a small storm, the boat doesn't go away somewhere, so you put an anchor. So it's a very good thing if you want to be safe in one place. But you are in a damn boat because you want to sail. So if you keep on putting 5, 10 anchors, obviously you will be safe, but you will never sail. So you have to make up your mind, you want to sail or you want to be safe. So, oh, you have seen me go through all kinds of situations, all kinds I don't know who's asking this question, how does he know what all I go through? Too many things, all kinds of rubbish. Lots of wonderful things also, lots of absolutely wonderful things, but lots of trash also comes my way. Well, what's his name? That's his real name? Nishant? Shashank. So no, Shashank has been very closely around me to see all the nonsense that comes my way. Anyway, if Shashank is well informed because he has access to somebody around me, or he's just reading it in the news, all the nonsense, unfortunately, in the news, only the nonsense they're reporting. All the wonderful things that happen to me, they don't usually report. That's their karma. Well, the trash is coming not simply because when you have nothing to lose and nothing to gain, you can do whatever you want. Either you can go sit in a mountain cave, simply blissed out, or you can get active in the world. You can do many things. You can be somewhat active, somewhat withdrawn, or all out active, depends. What's your choice? My choice has been shaped by the needs in the world, not by my whim. But what do you think? Look at me and tell me, you think this karma is taking a toll on me? Sometimes I might not have slept well, I may look little, but does it look like it's taking a toll on me? Because I want you to understand, all of you, get this straight. The simplest way to deal with all the humongous mountains of karma that you may have, because if you have a Himalayan-sized karmic background, it's very good. That means you have a complex structure. But if this complex structure tortures you and you will use your torture to torture everybody else around you, then it's a disaster. But if you use this complexity, because complexity is needed to come out with very significant solutions. If you have no complexity, usually you're called a simple fellow in England. In India, we call them simpleton. People will have compassion for you, but no passion for you. Yes, it's a sad way to live. So now, if you want to deal with your karma, the simplest thing is, you sit here, absolute dispassion for this one, total passion for everything else. This is all. Right now the problem is, people have enormous passion for their life, but they have dispassion for other people's well-being and suffering and whatever is happening.